All right, so yeah, you ever just like think about thinking?
Yeah, sometimes, like when I'm really stoned.
Right. Like, whoa, man, where did these thoughts even come from?
It's like our brains are just these like cosmic soup bowls simmering with ideas and stuff.
Totally. And today, we're diving deep into one of those juicy ideas. Inspiration.
Inspiration. Dude, even thinking about inspiration is kind of like meta, you
Right.
know?
Like, we need inspiration to talk about inspiration.
Maybe we should like take another hit first just to, get those creative juices flowing.
Uh-huh. Always a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, inspiration, man, it's like this force that drives us, pushes us to create, to explore, to be more than just like blobs on a couch.
So like what are we talking about here? Divine intervention, cosmic energy, or just like a really good cup of coffee?
Whoa, all the above, maybe. I mean, the word itself, inspiration, it comes from the Latin inspiratus, which means to breathe into.
Breathe into, like some kind of like ancient Roman mouth to mouth for the soul.
Uh-huh, right. It's like every brilliant thought, every masterpiece, it's just some ancient Roman dude blowing wisdom smoke directly into our brains across like millennia.
I mean, that would explain a lot about like the Roman Empire.
Right, like all those conquests, those aqueducts, those like crazy orgies.
Pure inspiration, man.
But hold up. Before we get too lost in the Roman smoke sesh, let's not forget the OG meaning of inspiration.
You mean like back in the day when inspiration was all about like divine influence?
Exactly, like a direct line to the gods, Zeus whispering sweet nothings in your ear, giving you the blueprint for like the Parthenon or something.
So like, are we saying that inspiration is just a contact high from the deities?
What if those guys up on Mount Olympus were like sacrificing like ambrosia-infused edibles and stuff?
Dude, that would explain a lot about Greek mythology.
Yeah, all those crazy adventures, those epic battles, those like messed up family dramas. Sounds like a weekend in Delphi after a particularly potent batch of like godweed.
Okay, but before we go full-on mythology nerd, let's bring it back to Earth, or at least like to psychology.
Yeah, because like there's this whole framework, right? These dudes, Thrash and Elliot, they break down inspiration into like 3 parts.
3 parts. It sounds complicated.
It's not that bad. They're called evocation, transcendence, and approach motivation.
Dude, those sound like names of yoga poses or something.
Uh-huh, right. But they're actually pretty straightforward. Evocation is like when anything, sparks an idea or feeling.
Like a song, a smell, a weird dream about a talking walrus.
Exactly.
Nah, okay, I get it. It's like, when you hear that one song and it instantly transports you back to, like, that time you ate an entire bag of chips and thought you cracked the code of the universe. Evocation, man. Powerful stuff.
And then there's transcendence, which is that feeling of being, like, completely absorbed in the moment.
Like you're, like, outside of yourself, floating in a sea of pure creative energy.
Yes.
Dude, that's basically describing my current state of being.
Uh-huh. I feel you. Time's a flat circle, thoughts are swirling galaxies.
And I'm pretty sure I can hear colors right now. Transcendence achieved.
Nicely done. And then the final piece of the puzzle, approach motivation.
Approach motivation. That sounds kind of like aggressive, man.
No, it's not like that. It's more like the energy, the drive, the let's do this feeling.
So like the fuel that actually pushes you to like make those inspired ideas happen.
Exactly. It's like you have the cosmic download, the mind-bending trip, and then the, okay, I'm going to write a symphony about talking walruses while eating chips moment.
Got it. But like, why should anyone care about all this inspiration stuff besides, unlocking the secrets of the universe and whatnot?
Dude, that's the big question, right? Like, does inspiration actually like matter in the real world?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds kind of like fluffy and philosophical,
Right. But it turns out inspiration isn't just some like woo hippy-dippy concept. It actually has some like serious benefits.
Benefits? Like what? Free pizza, unlimited Netflix.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Not quite. But close. Think like boosting creativity, making you more open to new experiences.
Okay, I'm listening.
And like making you more intrinsically motivated to, actually do stuff.
So like it's a mental performance enhancer, but without the whole like illegal doping scandal.
Exactly. It's like a natural high for your brain.
Sign me up. I could use a little boost, especially when it comes to like remembering what I had for breakfast.
Right. And get this, it's not just for like artists and musicians and stuff. Even lawyers need a little inspiration to, navigate the legal jungle.
Wait, lawyers can be inspired?
Dude, everyone needs a little inspiration in their lives, even those who spend their days arguing about like commas and semicolons. It's like a secret weapon against burnout, boredom, and, existential dread.
Okay, you've convinced me. Maybe inspiration isn't just for the artsy-fartsy types, even if it is fueled by THC. Or the gods.
Or both, man.
Or both. But, where do we actually find this magical inspiration stuff? Is there, a map, a secret code?
Well, get this. We dug up some, quotes and poems from this awesome source called, OAAP, and they're all about how artists and writers throughout history, found their inspiration.
So, we're talking about the ultimate cheat sheet to creativity. Let's tap into the collective wisdom of the ages, man. I'm ready to get inspired by proxy.
Exactly. All right, first up, we got Maya Angelou. She says, good done anywhere is good done everywhere. For a change, start by speaking to people rather than walking by them like they're stones that don't matter.
Whoa, Maya dropping truth bombs on us from beyond the grave.
Deep, right.
It's like she's saying, even the smallest interaction can be a source of inspiration, man.
Exactly. And then, check this out. Rumi says, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself.
Ooh, that's like a mic drop moment right there.
Right.
Maybe instead of, trying to fix everyone else, we should, focus on our own, internal journeys,
Totally. But then there's Thoreau, who, throws a curveball and says, if a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drummer. Let him step to the music which he hears, however measured or far away.
Thoreau's giving us permission to be our weird selves, man. March to the beat of our own drum.
Right. Embrace your uniqueness, even if it makes you a little, out of step with the crowd.
I'm feeling this on a spiritual level.
And speaking of unique perspectives, let's dive into some poetry.
Hit me with some poetic wisdom, my friend. My mind is like a sponge right now, ready to absorb the beauty of language.
Okay, so this one's called Small Kindnesses by Danusha Lamaris, and it starts like this. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by. Or how strangers still say, bless you, when someone sneezes, a leftover from the bubonic plague.
Dude, that's so true. Even in the most, mundane moments, there's this, underlying current of, human connection.
Right, we're all secretly rooting for each other.
Yeah, even if we don't realize it.
Exactly. And then she goes on, we have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire. Only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy, these fleeting temples we make together when we say, here, have my seat. Go ahead, you first. I like your hat.
Man, that's hitting me right in the feels. Maybe inspiration isn't just about, grand ideas, It's
Right.
also about, finding the extraordinary in the ordinary.
Exactly. And you know what else is extraordinary? The way Mary Oliver captures the essence of a new day in her poem, Why I Wake Early. Check this out. Hello, sun in my face. Hello, you who made the morning and spread it over the fields and into the faces of the tulips and the nodding morning glories, and in the windows of even the miserable and the crotchety.
Dude, that's like pure sunshine in word form. I can practically feel the warmth on my face.
Right. And listen to how it ends. Watch now how I start the day in happiness and kindness.
It's like a recipe for a good life.
Right. A reminder that, inspiration can be found in the simplest things.
Wow. You know what? I think we've reached peak inspiration for now.
Me too, man.
Or maybe it's just the THC talking. Either way, I need a moment to, process all this wisdom.
Me too, man. Let's take a deep breath, let it all sink in.
And maybe, grab another snack.
Yeah.
For science. Whoa, my brain is back online. Kinda. Feels like we just went on a whirlwind tour of the human psyche fueled by THC and poetic verse,
Right. It's like we hacked into the mainframe of inspiration, downloaded all the secrets, and now we're just trying to decipher the code.
But for real, where does inspiration really come from? Is it this external force,
Yeah.
Some mystical muse whispering sweet nothings in our ears?
Yeah.
Or is it all internal, like a spark ignited by the cosmic brownie mix we call consciousness?
Man, you're asking the big questions now, nature, nurture, divine intervention. Or maybe it's just the way our neurons fire when we're high as kites.
Right.
Creating those crazy connections that lead to aha moments.
Whoa, dude, hold on. You're blowing my mind here. What if inspiration is just a byproduct of our brain chemistry?
Okay.
A happy accident of evolution. We evolved to be these pattern-seeking, meaning-making machines, and inspiration is just the side effect of our brains trying to make sense of the universe,
Dude, that's deep. So we're all just walking, talking, inspiration generators, constantly spitting out ideas and insights and, like, artistic expressions.
Exactly. But then, like, why aren't we all geniuses?
Yeah.
Why are some people, like, struck by the lightning bolt of inspiration more often than others? Is it genetic, environmental, or maybe some of us have a better connection to the cosmic Wi-Fi?
Okay.
Downloading those divine downloads at a faster rate.
Dude, you're making my brain hurt, but I love it. Maybe it's like a combo of all those things.
Right.
Like, we have this, like, innate potential for inspiration, but it's up to us to cultivate it, to create the right conditions for those sparks to fly.
Okay, so how do we cultivate this inspiration then? Is there like a special fertilizer for the soul, or some like ancient ritual we need to perform?
Uh-huh.
Do I need to like start wearing a toga and sacrificing goats to the mazes?
I mean, I'm not sure about the goat sacrifices,
Okay.
but I think it starts with like being open to new experiences,
Yeah.
stepping outside our comfort zones,
Yeah.
exposing ourselves to different perspectives.
So like instead of just binge watching the same shows and scrolling through social media, we need to like actually go out and experience life.
Exactly.
Talk to strangers, explore new places, read a book that doesn't involve like talking animals or wizards.
Exactly. And remember those poems we talked about earlier?
Uh-huh.
The ones about finding inspiration in like the everyday, the small acts of kindness and the beauty of nature.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of it too, you know?
Okay.
Being present, paying attention, noticing the magic that's already all around us.
Dude, you're sounding all like zen and enlightened now. I'm getting secondhand inspiration just listening to you.
Well, don't get too excited. Remember that OAAP article about lawyers and inspiration?
Uh-huh.
They were talking about how inspiration helps lawyers like stay positive, energized, and motivated, even when they're dealing with all that like legal mumbo jumbo.
Wait, lawyers need inspiration. I thought their whole job was just to be like super serious and argue about stuff.
Right. But even they need a little boost
Right.
to keep those like legal brains firing on all cylinders.
Right.
Imagine reading through like mountains of paperwork,
Right.
dealing with like demanding clients, navigating the complex world of like law. It can get pretty draining, man.
Okay, I get it. Inspiration is like fuel for the soul, no matter what your like profession is.
Right.
But how does it actually work in the real world? Like, give me an example of how inspiration can like transform someone's life.
Well, remember that poem by Wendell Berry, The Peace of Wild Things? It's a perfect example of how someone can find inspiration in nature,
Yeah.
even when faced with like despair and uncertainty.
Yeah, I remember that one. It was like super heavy at first, all that talk about like fear and grief. But then he finds this like peace and solace in the natural world,
Right.
connecting with the stars and the water and the wild creatures.
Exactly. He goes from feeling like overwhelmed by the world to finding like freedom and renewal in the simplicity of nature.
So what you're saying is inspiration can be like a refuge, a way to escape the chaos and find meaning in something like bigger than ourselves.
Totally. It's like a reminder that we're part of this like vast interconnected web of life.
Yeah.
And even when things feel like dark and hopeless, there's still beauty and wonder to be found.
Dude, that's some seriously inspiring stuff. I'm feeling all tingly and enlightened now. Maybe we should ditch this whole podcast thing and become like wilderness guides, leading people on vision quests to find their own inspiration in nature.
I'm down for a vision quest.
Right.
But I think we're onto something important here. Inspiration isn't just about like creating art or writing poetry or having brilliant ideas.
Yeah.
You know, it's about connecting to something that like transcends our individual experience.
Right.
Something that gives us hope and purpose and a sense of belonging.
Whoa, you're making me rethink my entire understanding of inspiration. It's not just about the aha moment.
Right.
It's about the bigger picture, the interconnectedness of it all. We're all just like little sparks of consciousness trying to find our way back to the source.
Dude, you're blowing my mind again. But seriously, think about all those inspiring quotes and stories we've like discussed today. What do they all have in common?
Good question. Let me ponder that for a second. Okay, I think I got it. They're all about finding meaning and purpose.
Okay.
Even in the face of like adversity, whether it's Maya Angelou talking about connecting with strangers or Thoreau encouraging us to march to the beat of our own drum, they're all like pointing us towards a deeper truth, a more like authentic way of being in the world.
Exactly. And that's the power of inspiration, man. It can lift us out of our, like, everyday routines, challenge our assumptions,
Right.
help us see the world with, like, fresh eyes.
So what you're saying is inspiration is like a mental reset button, a way to like break free from our limiting beliefs and
Right.
tap into our full potential.
Dude, you're getting it. It's like, inspiration is the key to unlocking the hidden doors within ourselves, revealing the infinite possibilities that, like, lie within.
Whoa, I need a minute to process. This is some next level inspiration talk, man.
I know, right?
Oh.
It's like we've gone from, like, dissecting the etymology of inspiration to unraveling the mysteries of the universe, all while being incredibly high.
But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay, so, like, we've journeyed through the misty realms of etymology, you know? We've plumbed the depths of psychology. We even, like, brushed up against the divine, all in the name of understanding inspiration.
Right.
But before we, like, ascend to a higher plane of existence, or maybe just raid the pantry for more snacks,
Yeah.
I think it's time to, like, bring this ethereal concept down to, like...
Down to earth,
Okay.
after all that like high-flying inspiration talk, you sure you're not experiencing a sudden like drop in altitude, my friend? Maybe we need a booster shot of like cosmic brownie wisdom before we attempt re-entry.
Maybe later.
Okay.
But seriously, I think it's, like, important to remember that inspiration isn't just this, like, abstract, esoteric force, you know? It's something that, like, manifests in real life, in the actions and creations of, like, ordinary people.
So like inspiration isn't just reserved for like the Michelangelos and Shakespeare's of the world.
Right.
You're telling me like even a regular Joe like myself can experience a touch of the divine.
Exactly. Inspiration isn't about achieving some, like, grand epic masterpiece. It's about those, like, moments of clarity, insight, and, like, creative energy that can transform even the most, like, mundane aspects of our lives.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But give me an example. Like, how does this inspiration stuff actually, like, play out in the real world?
Remember that poem by Danusia Lemaris, Small Kindnesses? It's a beautiful illustration of how inspiration can be found in, like...
The everyday?
The everyday.
Yeah.
In those, like, fleeting moments of, like, human connection.
Oh, yeah, the one about strangers, like, pulling in their legs on a crowded aisle and saying, bless you after a sneeze. I felt that, man.
Right.
It's like, even in our, like, fast-paced, technology-obsessed world, we still crave those, like, small gestures of kindness.
Exactly. And Lemaris takes it a step further.
Okay.
Suggesting that these small acts of kindness might be, like, the true dwelling of the holy.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
deep. So you're saying inspiration isn't just about like creative breakthroughs or like artistic expression.
Right.
It can also be about fostering a sense of like connection, of belonging, of recognizing the sacred in the ordinary.
I think so, yeah. It's about tapping into that, like, universal energy that, like, binds us all together. That, like, spark of recognition that reminds us we're not alone in this crazy journey called life.
Man, that's heavy.
Right.
And kind of beautiful too.
Right.
So how do we cultivate this kind of inspiration, the kind that helps us see the extraordinary in like the everyday?
I think it starts with, like, paying attention.
Okay.
Like, really noticing the world around us, the people we interact with, the small details that often go unnoticed.
So like ditching the noise-canceling headphones,
Right.
logging off social media, and actually like engaging with the world.
Yeah.
Sounds terrifying yet strangely compelling.
Right. It's about being present in the moment.
Yeah.
Savoring the simple things.
Yeah.
And cultivating a sense of gratitude for the often, like, overlooked gifts
Right.
that life has to offer.
Dude, you're starting to sound like a mindfulness guru. Is this what happens when you spend too much time dissecting the nature of inspiration? You become like one with the universe?
Maybe. Or maybe it's just the DHC talking.
Ugh.
But seriously, I think there's, like, something to be said for, like, slowing down, tuning in, and allowing ourselves to be inspired by the world around us.
Okay, I'm buying what you're selling. But
Okay.
let's bring it back to our listeners.
Right.
How can they apply this, like, newfound wisdom, this, like, inspired perspective to their own lives?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
And I think the answer is, like, different for everyone.
Okay.
But maybe, just maybe, this, like, deep dive
Yeah.
has planted a seed, sparked a curiosity,
Right.
ignited a desire to seek out those sources of inspiration that resonate most deeply within each of us.
So, like, instead of giving them a step-by-step guide to inspiration,
Right.
we're encouraging them to embark on their own, like, personal journeys of discovery.
Exactly. Because ultimately, the most powerful inspiration comes from within.
Right.
It's about finding those things that, like, light us up, that fuel our passions, that make us feel truly alive.
And remember, folks, inspiration can strike at the most, like, unexpected moments.
Right.
It might be a chance encounter with a stranger.
Right.
A line in a poem, a sudden, like, flag of insight while you're, like, washing the dishes. The key is to be open, receptive, and willing to, like, embrace those moments of creative spark.
Well said, my friend. And with that, I think it's time to, like, wrap up this epic exploration of inspiration.
Right.
We've laughed, we've pondered, we've delved into the deepest recesses of the human psyche.
Right.
And maybe consumed a few too many cosmic brownies along the way.
But hey, who's counting?
Right.
It's all in the name of, like, knowledge, right? Or maybe it's just an excuse to get high and wax philosophical about the universe.
Right.
Either way, I'm glad we took this journey together.
Me too. Yeah, me too. So until next time, dear listeners, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep those creative fires burning.
Peace out.